Hey cats, EDDBUD here. It's once again running news time. We got to discuss the new British record on the 100 meters. There's also a new Parkrun record too. There's a whole bunch of shoe releases. You just know that I'm going to go through those. And some news on the ADIOS Pro 4. Running news time, let's go. Thanks for tuning in, people. It's always appreciated. Help the channel to continue to grow by hitting that subscribe button, but also clicking the bell below for notifications. Giving this video a thumbs up, like, and sharing it with your running buddies really helps out too. Danke schön. Okay, into that running news story number one. So we've seen a new British track record for the 100 meter distance. Zarnell Hughes took a few fractions of a second off the previously held time by Linford Christie. It's only 0.04 seconds, but hey, it all counts, right? I think when you're down to that sort of speed, then there's not much room for manoeuvre. So that record stood since 1993, but we finally saw some movement on it in New York with a super performance from Hughes. I mean, when he got up to speed there and was in full flow, it was absolutely majestic. He's the current European 200 meter champion. It has to be remembered, so perhaps we were always in for some improvement on his 100 meter time. Of course, we got the World Championships coming up in a few months' time. I think this all bodes well for the Brit, really, and apparently he's not even done any proper speed training yet. Can you believe that? I mean, what is speed work to that guy? It's definitely what speed work is to me. I know that 100 meter runners are very tuned in certain areas. There's going to be very specific types of training, those sort of fast twitch fibers in the legs, but it's almost unfathomable to me how anybody can run just that fast. It is insane. I shall certainly be watching the UK Championships that are coming up before those World Championships. Let's see how he's faring up and just getting things tuned in nicely, ready for the World Championships. Story 2. Now, my local park runs are pretty quiet affairs, really. Most of them are on a sort of balance of trail and concrete paths, sometimes some gravel thrown in for good measure. You only get like 100 or 200 participants locally, and I've been known to get into the top 20, sometimes even close to the top 10 on some very small ones. Though there's a staggering new Parkrun record that's just been set up in Edinburgh. Somewhat insane to even comprehend it. The Scot Andy Butchart completed the Edinburgh 5k in 13 minutes 45 seconds. He set that one on the 24th of June 2023, so that's 3 seconds off the previous held record. Apparently no wind in Edinburgh on that day. I think there was another runner that sort of humorously mentioned that. So that's approximately 4 minutes 26-ish seconds per mile, or 2 minutes 45 seconds per kilometre. Or you could even look at it from this point of view. It's 13.56 miles an hour, or 21.82 kilometers per hour. That is insane. Mind-blowing pace. Can you even imagine sort of running a park run and just seeing that guy sort of going past you? Not that he would be going past you, he would be in the distance somewhere. Weird to see lots of unknown runners on this park run, so maybe there was a whole bunch of other people that went along to try and sort of go for the time. Interestingly, you can see that a sub 20 minute effort here would have got you into the top 30. I think it was about 403 park runners that did that event on the 24th. The Scotsman seen great success on the track in the 5,000 meters, and of course was the first Brit to finish in the recent 10,000 meters at the night of the 10k PBs in London. He had a time that day of 27:47. I can tell you now, guys, that not all park runs are made for PRs. My local ones, you haven't got a hope in hell of getting anywhere near that time. I think the fastest one locally is probably the double back route when you go and do the Blandford park run. Even then you got some little hills and stuff to contend with. That's probably my pick of the southwest ones, certainly. The old Yeovil B park run used to be pretty good. That's just on 9 Springs down on my local route. I used to love running that one. Either way, a fine achievement for the Scot. It's no doubt going to inspire some more people to get out there and do some park running, getting involved with the local community, and just keeping fit in general. Okay, on to shoe releases now. Let's get to it. There's a whole bunch today, including the HOKA MACH X that's released over here in the UK, though I want the alternative colourway that is seemingly set to launch in the US at some point. I'm not a massive fan of the Ocean Mist one here. There's also Lime Glow to this version. It's all about the white and off-white midsole with the light hits of blue in this other one. That one really tickles my fancy. Really nice version. I hope we get it here in the UK. This one's coming in at about 160 Earth credits, which if you translate that to pounds is £160. Obviously a plus 40mm heel stack here. It's going to be that max cushion monster that seems to be the trend for 2023. SAUCONY up next. They've just released that Triumph 21, or at least I think that releases very soon here in the UK and other regions. Lots of PARKRUN Plus material in that midsole. It's a shoe I've really been enjoying testing out recently. We got XT900 rubber on the outsole because you need to know that's there. It just helps you sleep better at night. 10mm drop, and I make it a shoe for the max cushion seekers. Perhaps if that MACH X 5mm drop's not quite enough for you. If you want to go that extra few millimeters and just sort of push it over the edge. Though the people looking for the minimal weight shoe will probably go for the MACH X here. I think it's a few grams lighter. I think the Triumph 21 will drop for around about $160 over in the US. It's just a touch cheaper than that new HOKA Effort. Another max cushioned monster for you. The SC Trainer version 2 is released from New Balance. Lots of that squashy fuel cell material. Though I think they've redesigned the midsole stack along with a new upper as well. The outsole looks far better as well by all accounts. Upper seems re-engineered here. In fairness, it couldn't have been much worse than the V1, which was really tough to dial in a good lockdown. Again though, this is $180, so it's going to clear out that wallet pretty quickly. Be careful here guys, some people for some reason have put the version 1 up as the version 2. There's a bit of confusion there. They're trying to sell the older model as the V2. I don't think there was a second revision of it or anything. It seems like New Balance have got a few naming issues here with the SC Trainer. I think it's just confusing people that bit more. I'd suggest Fuel Cell Trainer version 2. It's just easier, and I mean, you can race and do competitions in any shoe. You could wear like a sandal or like a gardening shoe. If you wanted to, that would still be a competition shoe. It's out now in the US, but I think it's still awaiting release over here in Blighty at the time of making this video anyway, in late June 2023. One last release I've just noticed it's appeared on Start Fitness's website is the Magnify Nitro 2 from PUMA. I've seen this pop up in a few sites for around about 130 Earth credits here in the UK. The black version quite attractive, though I have to be honest, I think I still prefer the red, white and blue Optimus Prime version. Lots of super soft nitro foam here, ready to facilitate those longer runs or some daily easy efforts. Stretchy knit and a very comfortable fit here in the upper. You'll just want to wear them all day, and in fact that's exactly what I did today. Another one I've just spotted actually. How I missed it I do not know. Puma have got a cool knit upper version of the FOREVERUN Nitro as well. That's launched with little to no fanfare. I think it's lovely in that off-white sail-like fabric. Okay, story 4, last one for today. I want to talk a little bit about the ADIOS Pro 4 now. There were a few images leaked a little while back of this shoe. Did appear to be like an upper update on top of the same midsole stack that we saw in the 3. Though there's lots of rumours and discussion going around now that Adidas have dumped that and they're actually doing a complete redesign on the ADIOS Pro 4. It's been so long since the 3 appeared that people started asking, you know, when are we going to get the new iteration of the top ADIOS? We haven't seen anything at all since sort of December time when those other images leaked. It did look like on those images that they got rid of those awful lace loops at the front of the shoe. That really ruined the lockdown for me on that one. Just was really tough to try and dial in the sort of lace tension over the top of the foot. I mean, that for me would have been the ideal shoe, really. I really enjoyed the midsole. It was just a bit of a pain to try and dial in the lock on top of that midsole base. There are rumours around now that Adidas are going to continue with the Pro 3 as the sort of flagship shoe into 2024. We've seen recently loads of colourways of that one appear on the Adidas website, and there's rumours that there'll be a strung upper on the ADIOS Pro 4. I think they're probably right. I think that Adidas will be experimenting more and more, as they have done with a strung version of the Takumi Sen. I think they're going to go all in with that upper on not only racing running shoes, but also casual fashion shoes too. Maybe we'll see that ADIOS Pro 4 drop before the Olympics next year, but it appears that ADIOS Pro 4 with the very small upper update just simply won't get released now. Maybe it was like a sample or something. They were just sort of testing the water to see what people thought of it, but we haven't seen that anywhere in the wild. Even at that Adidas event a few months back, everybody was wearing the ADIOS Pro 3 or the Takumi Sen 9. You would have thought that they would have used that event to sort of push the new shoe if it was on its way. There was no sign of the 4 whatsoever. I think they've probably delayed the release of it to sort of bring us a new version that pushes the boundaries somewhat. What do you say, people? Let me know your thoughts and opinions on today's stories down in the comments. Musical interlude for you. A couple of sort of legacy tracks here to check out from Butler. It's around the period from his album People Move On. There's some great B-sides which seem to be available now if you've got like a streaming service like Apple Music or Spotify. B-sides to check out are Bye Bye and It's Alright. Bye Bye has almost got like a Spanish sort of flamenco feel about it. There's some absolutely insane and wild guitar playing later in this track. Tons of distortion and fuzz and lots of vibrato. Probably played on Butler's 355 Gibson. It's Alright, so kind of dreamy, almost Beatles-y type tune. Very much in the mould, I've always thought, of that Free as a Bird track, but a bit more magical, mystical with the chord changes. I really like a part later where Butler's sort of shouting into a microphone with loads of distortion on it. Sounds a little bit like something from the Beatles, like Yellow Submarine. Absolutely massive production on these tracks, as per all of the things really on People Move On. Worth checking out if you are unfamiliar with the material of Butler, one of the UK's best guitar players and songwriters. Thanks for tuning in, people. Hope you enjoyed the show. Remember to hit that subscribe button and give this video a thumbs up like. It really does help out. My name's EDDBUD, and I'll be seeing you